Welcome, reading four? Yes, reading four. I'm getting lost because I did the little prequel reading where you pick your reading. Oh my gosh. So yes, we all name you are reading four. Welcome, reading four. Oh my gosh. Reading three was amazing. Okay, so, and if you're pulled to any other readings, I highly suggest you go and look at them. This is about setting intentions or where you need to put your focus this moon cycle and this Aquarius energy until we pass it over to Pisces. Next month in February. Also, I'm feeling don't feel down. I heard don't feel down, clown, but not like calling you a clown. Like, people are like, you're a clown. It's like, I feel like for some of you, you love clowns. Like you love clowns. Like you love like the beauty and like like I'm hearing the yumminess of clowns and like all their cuteness, but like, not the scary, who likes a scary clown? I mean, it's kind of like the same with anything, right? There's this sweet, precious fairy here, but there's like angry fairies. And maybe that's what they're trying to get you to learn to balance. I'm going to jump right into your card. I don't know what it is either, but I heard balance right away. So let's see what the card says. Okay. Let me get my glasses on. I don't even know why I bother taking them off when I'm doing these readings. Okay, so, the King of Spring. Innovative, inspiring, wise, and theatrical. A financial windfall. Your leadership skills are needed now. An unexpected supporter of your cause. Oh my gosh, Bubba is eating right now. Hold on. Okay, reading four. I apologize. It was a second for you guys and many, many minutes for me. Wow, so many breakthroughs though. And for you guys, now it's a second. I'm glad I got to like work through it. But at first I was like, Baba. And I was like, why do you do that, man? And she's like, I'm like, you could say hi to everybody without having to start eating. And she was like, no. So that message was for self-care. That was a reminder from Baba. If you don't know Baba, if you're new here, welcome. And for those of you who keep coming back, welcome back. But Baba the Great, she is Baba Yaga. She's an old witch. She's an old witch in a little cat body. And she's a powerful familiar, and she gives us great advice all the time. And so, yeah, so she was just saying that you need to take care of yourselves, to stop and eat, even when it seems right. Like then I was like, what? Oh, she's eating. She's ruining the video. It's like, no, sometimes because I'm hearing for some of you, like you need to stop, even if you're in the middle of a project or you're like, I got to get this done or blah, blah, blah. It's like, but you're starting to get a headache, your stomach's growling. It's like, no, what you need to do is stop, take a few breaths. Even if you just eat a few bites of something, anyone can afford to take 5 minutes to breathe, drink some fresh water, eat some good food, even if it's a few bites. Compose yourself, maybe relieve yourself, take a walk to the bathroom, throw some water on your face, and then get back at it. Because I'm seeing like a mom, like, she's like, I can't even shower. I got to feed my kids. I saw something recently. I forget what celebrity it was, but they were like saying, what was I thinking having 2 children under the age of 2? She was like, what did I do to myself? Kind of thing. And I'm just getting from spirit, it's time for you to really take care of yourself. Okay. Also, very interesting. When I saw the King of Spring, I didn't think of Elvis at all, but like during that break and I was doing other things, spirit drew me to my teas, my essential oils. And one of our Blessed Tribe members, thank you, Jules, just sent me a nice batch of, this isn't a plug doTERRA, this is literally like that we love them and we love their oils, and we work on trade when we do spirit work together. So she just blessed me with this holy basil. I was really drawn to it, and I feel like you're meant to work with it too. So whatever source you want to get it from, just make sure it's real, it's natural. And let me tell you something, when I opened this, I was like, I wish I had smell-o-vision. Like I wish I could be like, smell this, you guys. You know what I mean? Because it like literally like is so life-changing, and it's called Tulsi Holy Basil. Oh, let me see if I can try and describe it to you. Okay, I'm going to shut my eyes. Close your eyes. Let's see if we can, maybe you can smell it. My husband said it smells like a Christmas tree. There is a sweetness at the end of it that I can't really quite explain, but an earthiness as well. But the earthiness isn't a heavy earthy. It's just like basil, right? Like light and fluffy. And I don't even know if it is from the basil plant for sure. I'm sure it is, but maybe it's not. You know those things that's named that, but it's not from it at all. Because also sometimes it's a different language. It means something else in a different language. It just, basil's like, car in like, another language. Anyway, I was sending the energy to you through my mind. So get you some of this. All I can tell you is it's just like, I feel like everything just like cleared up. You know what I mean? Like I feel so good. And those of you who walk with me a long time, I rarely do this. I used to do it more. I used to bring out my oils, or I'd bring out like, sprigs of rosemary. But since we've been living, home free, quote unquote, it's a lot harder. I can't really have like all of my fun toys and things that I used to. So I'm grateful for the oils. If you're living light as well, get yourself some, good essential oils, like frankincense also wanted to come in. I've neglected to grab it, but let me see. Oh, frankincense is another one. Oh, I'm going to smell it. Oh, I put some on my third eye. Frankincense is really good for your third eye. So the King of Spring. In the fairy tarot, spring is like cups, chalices. It's the water energy, as you can imagine, spring, right? And for this situation, I feel like for you guys, it's like this is actually talking about the energy of spring. Meaning, like, I feel like right now for some of you, you're not feeling very innovative. You're not feeling inspired or wise, maybe a bit theatrical, but I feel like maybe your fire signs, and even though it's the King of Spring and it's, water signs, which would be our Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. But I feel like this is you, and it doesn't matter if you, whatever you feel on the inside, outside, we all have divine feminine and masculine. This is just, at the beginning of this, I believe Spirit was saying something about balance. So I feel like it's time for you guys to bring the balance of the divine feminine and the masculine back into place. And I feel like by spring, you're going to feel innovative again. And we have a lot of people in the northern and the southern hemisphere, but for those of you in the northern hemisphere, I'm telling you, when you come out of winter, like right now, set your intentions for what you want to do for spring. Use this time of winter energy. And for the southern hemisphere, this, I always say winter and summer are resting, and we have to do the everyday stuff, right? But we plant the seeds in the spring and we harvest in the fall, no matter where you live in which hemisphere, right? But in the summer, we take it a little easier. It's hot, but you still have to water the food, right? You have to water those seedlings so that they will grow into harvest to, reap the harvest in the fall. So I'm just feeling like for some of you, these two oils will really, really help you. I mean, honestly, ever since I got my oils back into my life, I'd run out of like my essentials and I kept putting it off, and I'm like, I'm fine. In 24, not even, I think it's not even a full 24 hours that I've had the oils back into my life. Like I brought lavender in. Lavender came in one of the other readings too. If you were drawn to another reading, I won't say which one. I'll let you, go by your intuition. But anyway, lavender is another good one too, because lavender is like, it fights infection and mold. You can use it on you, inside you, you know what I mean? Like, it's good for, calming. And last night, my husband and I put it on the backs of our necks and our temples the way we used to. And we both woke up and it was like, hallelujah. I don't even remember waking up or tossing and turning or, shit is real. It's here for a reason. Even just having the fresh things, like if you have fresh, lavender, that's even better. If you grow it yourself, like I take, once it's grown, like I take the seedlings and I like rub them between my hands and I sprinkle them all over my bed, and then I put my sheet on. There's a lot of things you can do to help you while you're going through this winter phase. Because even if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're feeling that. This was in one of the other readings and it wanted to come into yours as well. I feel like you guys see feathers all the time, all different colors, shapes, and sizes. This little baby feather is just everything to me. I love it. It's just so precious. Seriously, it's just so buttery soft. But the good news is you probably saw those words at the bottom, and it says a financial windfall. Your leadership skills are needed now, an unexpected supporter of your cause. So for some of you, the unexpected supporter of your cause may be a King of Spring. It might be a masculine, male identified energy that will be a water sign, you know, and they'll be there to help you. I know when I started to be okay with the way things were going, when I started to go back into the rhythm of spirit and I wasn't trying to control things anymore, I started to see like our landlord as like, before I was just mad because I was like, man, we were supposed to have this remodeling done, you know, blah, blah, blah. We've been stuck in this RV and we've been living home free and I'm tired of living off the grid and all these like, meh, meh, meh. But the more I stayed in the bitch and the complain, the more I made him the villain of the story. But the more I started to be like, hey, you know what? I'm actually really glad. Like, if we didn't, you know, look at this and look at all the things he's done for us, it's like I've allowed him, like, it's like I've allowed to see myself, I've allowed myself to see him back in the light. We all have light and dark. People are going to disappoint you. That is a fact. And maybe your king of spring will disappoint you. Maybe your inner king of spring has disappointed you because you're like, I should be along further. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And that's so hard when we want to control the outcome, right? It's like, how can this be the place I'm supposed to be? I had a moment with spirit over Christmas where I was like, how could this be? I deserve more. I deserve better, which is true. That is true. But they were just like, do you see where you are? Like, look out the window right now. You're looking at water. You are looking at mountains. Like, you need to slow your roll. It was almost like, you know, like my spirit guides and my guardian angels were like, all right, I love you and shit, but like, you've just gone too far. And once I started to see it as the blessing that it was and stopped making him the villain, all of a sudden he became the fucking hero again of our story. And I'm like, oh, I love him and I'm going to take good care of him. And he is taking good care of us. It may not look like it in our eyes. And we may think he's selfish because, you know, he's taking too long and he should pay somebody. Because my thing was like, man, he should have paid somebody. For those of you who've been walking me with me a long time, you know what I'm talking about. And those of you who haven't, I'm sorry to bring my personal story into this, but sorry, not sorry, you know, right? Like, but it's the truth, you know, like we had a lot of really awesome, wonderful things that have happened. And I was just looking at the bad stuff and angry that things weren't done. And because it's an investment property. He didn't know. And some things, it was hard because as a telepath, I could tell he knew, he just didn't know it was that bad. You know what I mean? But he just wouldn't admit it. I'm like, just tell me. I'm like, you come on. I'm like, you know you could, I can read your mind. And he's like, no, I really didn't think it was that bad. And I'm like, mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I started to like grow these like anger things about him and towards him. And all of a sudden he was the villain. He was the bad. I needed to have somebody to blame. But what if we don't have anybody to blame for anything? What if we're just meant to go with the flow, right? Like, I feel like the frankincense is trying to bring our eyes back to the moon, right? Like, right now, we are in the first quarter moon. We are setting intentions. We're going to be taking action on those intentions, right? For the rest of the moon cycle. So, don't lose hope. Because a financial windfall is on its way. Something is coming in the spring, you guys. I've been feeling this. And if you were drawn to any other piles, you know, spirit in my teachings and my, you know, mediumship, I don't give a lot of time frames because we have free will. And spirit, that was the first thing I learned from one of my shamans was that, you know, don't get too wrapped up in doing readings for people and predicting their future because she's like, you know, the world's changing. It's not like the old days, you know. And, you know, there's a lot more pawns and a lot more things moving around the chessboard. So your leadership skills are needed now. Stand strong. And I also feel like seeing this back here, it feels like this is your tribe. You know, I also see these as brooms. I've never seen these as brooms before. They always look like, you know, like little, like homesteads, you know. But I almost feel like with his staff right there, it almost looks like a broom. So I feel like spirits like sweep away the old shit. Like work through this through winter energy. And then when spring comes, as long as you stay in your high vibration, go back to being the leader, inspiring people the way you used to. You're wise. All those things, you're still these things now. You're just in, see how there's like darkness behind them, but they're like in a bright outfit. Like, I mean, I could even bring this in, you know, and give you more. Ooh, look at that. Oh, Spirit just said, don't cut yourself off at the knees. It was like right at the knees. They said, don't cut yourself off at the knees. Some of you are giving up. They're like, you know, when you're at that point where they're like, you're so close. You're so close. Like, right? Like, don't give up now. That's what Spirit's saying. They're like, don't give up now. Don't give up now. Not when you're this close. It's going to happen. but you have to stay open too and work with these energies, frankincense and holy basil. If you can work with them, you can afford to do that, please do that. You can get them. There's a lot of places that source oils that are less expensive than big companies like that, right? You know, I talk about Mountain Rose Herbs a lot. They're one of my favorites. They're a big company, but you know, they're kind of like what doTERRA was when doTERRA broke away from Young Living. That's a whole other story in itself. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I still believe in the goodness of big companies. I still believe that even companies like doTERRA, they really are striving for the best, and you know, and all of us. Also, this is your last little message from Spirit. This came off my husband's tea yesterday, and it says, a variety, get it? Variety is the spice of life. So I'm hearing for some of you, spice it up, you know? Maybe there's something that you just haven't seen, and you're the first ones I feel like I want to pull another card for. So let me see. Spirit, do we want to pull any more cards for reading for? Ooh, wow. This one, like, I barely shuffled. Holy shit. Oh my goddess. Okay, I don't normally do this, but I feel like this is a really big message. I believe this was reading 1. I am on reading 4 now, but I believe this was reading 1. I remember I was just telling you about the lavender. So for some of you, if you were pulled to reading 1, this is a big sign that you need to go and watch it and look at positive changes are on the way, just like financial windfall. And look at, because you're in the winter, but you're going to be in the spring, right? And oh wait, and it says a welcome relief from troubled times, traveling or relocating. Yeah, that one was really powerful, you guys. So I feel like, you know, it's time for you to spice it up. Get some variety. You need to relocate, move, change your scenery. You know what I mean? Like something's coming. Anyway, those are your messages. Go check out reading 1, and I will see you next time. Oh, and all of my information is in the about section. I know a lot of you have asked me about that, or if you would like a personal session with me, you can email me at themagicalmedium@gmail.com. There's a link in the about section. If you're on your laptop, there's not a link on phones, but it's how it's spelled. You have to remember the K though. It's all together, themagicalmedium@gmail.com. All right, I love you so much. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other. Blessed be. Oh.